anyways. All right, we will now call the Board of Franklin County Commissioners meeting to order for Wednesday, August 26, 2026, starting with a roll call.
Commissioner Sotomayor.
Present.
Commissioner Waymire.
Present.
Chair Metter.
Present.
Vice Chair Harris.
Present.
Commissioner Dickinson.
Present.
All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. All right, we have correspondence today. I think we have Sarah. We're starting with Sarah. I think she our only one. Yes. Come on down.
Good morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to come in and give an update. I do an update with the city and I do it quarterly, so I thought this is a good time to kind of keep doing that with you guys as well. Because some of the TGT funds that I use for events, we've used, and those are in the report here. But I'm going to kind of give a brief update from April for second quarter. So Main Street Association has to do to the state an economic report each quarter. In our last quarter, we had 1,003.5 volunteer hours. If you put that to the state's dollar amount that they have for volunteer hours, it's $33,607 in volunteer hours done downtown. We kicked off our third Thursdays in April. We run those from April to October, so we're in the thick of those right now. We are still having a good turnout and quite a few vendors that show up each month for those. And then it's fun to see those vendors will sometimes, what we've noticed in the past years is they end up selling in stores downtown outside of that as well. We hosted our Piccadilly, which is our signature fundraiser. We hired a travel blogger, One Delightful Life. I had worked with her with Kansas Tourism and Northeast Regional Board, and they had been working to hit our region. This was just pushed out again this last week because she visited the whole town and did different things with Historical Society, different restaurants, different stores. But then on National Pizza Day, she'll push out the pizza places here. So even though she was only here that one weekend, we put her up in an Airbnb, she continues to share us out. So we're still getting traction on that. And just yesterday or the day before, pizza was shot out on Ottawa again. So that's fun to see keep going on. We attended the national conference in Tulsa this year. While we were there is whenever the tornado happened. While we were fortunate that there wasn't any damage downtown, it was cool to see and watch the community come together. While we weren't affected, we were able to open up tabs, and I was able to get a donor to sponsor the meals for first responders, and so they were able to come down and eat one meal per shift at the local restaurant. So that put right back into our community, but also supported those first responders that was out helping with cleanup. We kicked off our membership drive. We do ours a little bit different, kind of an agreement whenever we moved in to share space with the chamber. We don't do ours where we're asking every month. We have a drive window. August is the wrap up of that, and we're almost done and so close to our goal. I think we'll get there. We kicked off the Summer Lanyard program. That was a community partner of 10 different organizations between library, OMA, Historical Society, Chamber, myself, ORC, I'm missing some, Cancer Foundation. We all did the Lanyard program and the pins, and we're meeting next week to regroup on that, and we do foresee expanding that. It was fun to see how many people got interested in collecting those pins and how many new faces were at events because they didn't know the event was going on, or they would bring their family to collect the pins. So we're looking at different ways to do that. We were awarded the Historical Trust Fund grant. While it was announced in May, we just received the check a couple weeks ago of $87,360. That is going into 216 South Main. I took 5 businesses to Destination Boot Camp, which is in Denver. This was a partnership with eCommunity and Chamber. Network Kansas helped sponsor the class part of it, so it didn't cost the businesses anything other than travel and food to get there. We carpooled, And this is with John Schallert and about teaching businesses to make their business a destination and what they can do. Sometimes the things that we need to change are right there in front of our face, or we are so wrapped in, we need the locals to support us when really we need to be drawing from outside in. It's been fun to see that group collaborate together and keep communicating. And my goal is to take another group this next year whenever he does. It's just a one time a year. And then we'll go from there. I hosted the Kansas Quarterly training. We had 80 people in town in June. And with that, the SHPO State Historical Preservation came in and gave presentations. They are calling Ottawa the hotbed of activity because we have so much activity in our historical credits. We partnered on that to do a tour of the Historical Society because they had the Zellner building on display, and it fed right into why we need to upkeep our buildings and part of their training. So it was cool to see the other Kansas communities come in and tour our community. Wrapping into that, we have put a big push into our historical tax credits. I currently have $1.6 million in construction happening downtown right now with 12 projects in the queue. We did not expect that to take off like it has, but it can be anything from HVAC to windows, a roof. All of it's just helping keeping our businesses and buildings in good standing, and then also showing the business owners that we can do this and this is a source that we can do it. But then we're also stacking with as many grants as we can. So example, that Historical Trust Fund grant is stacking with historical tax credits as well as our rooms grant and our HEAL grant that we have. They're all stacking together. So we'll continue putting a push into that. We have 6 projects that we haven't touched yet because we're still working on the 12. It's not just a one-page application, as you guys know that have done tax credits. So that's about all I have as updates at the moment. Do you guys have any questions or?
I saw you yesterday downtown directing traffic for a parade.
Yes, that's a partnership with Ottawa University. We do the Parade of Champions with Fusion, but it's also a partnership with USD 290. So the champions, any student that has gone to state level at USD 290 gets to participate with their team, or if it's an individual as well. And then they are celebrated as they go through. So we try to alternate OU and then OHS, and then bringing the community together. So,
Down there.
yes, there was.
Yeah,
It's about a 15-minute parade max is what it did, but there's a lot of people, and it's fun to see, just as in my collaboration with Ottawa University, just as much as we need them downtown, they need community support on campus for events. And so this is one of those things where we can bring together. And the OU's trying to do better about getting into the school district, so they do clap outs and stuff like that in the elementary schools. And then the little kids are excited to see the college students playing and stuff like that. So
I will just say, I don't think I've ever seen a Main Street director so involved and so engaged, and good job.
thank you. I am a little all over the place at times, but it's all beneficial to the community, so.
Well, I like hearing how much money you've brought downtown. That's huge when you know what a roof costs on
Yes.
some of those buildings. If you
We-
be able to help,
We have a little over
Supplement that.
400,000 in grants right now downtown, so.
so that's neat.
I keep applying where I can, so if I find a fit, I'm approaching an owner, hey, do you want to do this? And part of that is sometimes having the communication of, hey, what are your plans for this building? Are you planning to develop upstairs? Because while the grant's not open right now, it opens in October, and what can we do to be ready to roll on this? So that's some of the things that are behind the scenes motion in there as well.
Takes someone with forethought to keep those balls rolling. Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. All right. Any other correspondence today, anything? All right.
We had the car show people. Were they coming up now, or?
They've signed up under public comment.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll move on to public comment. Do we have public
Oh,
comment?
sorry.
Yes, we
And I
do.
will read. A citizen desiring to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Discussion is limited to 5 minutes, and the commission will not take action or discuss items at this time. Discussion should be limited to matters of county commission business, and public comment is not permitted in regard to personnel matters or on pending legal matters. Items introduced under public comment may become agenda items at a later date.
Michael Lewis.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Commissioners. First of all, I want to thank Janet for everything she's been doing. She's had to get all these revenue neutral rates out and dealing with the petition side of things on the city side of town. So I'm sure you've been super busy. Wanted to speak to the revenue neutral. 3 to 20%, 3 to 30% is what it's been looking like across all the taxing entities for my area. The county, 0%. Thank you very much. I went back and looked back to 2024. My county portion of my property tax is only $3 more than it was in 2024. So that is a meaningful difference. Have y'all increased the way some of these other jurisdictions have been increasing? That would be anywhere from $200 to $800 a household. That's a meaningful difference. That's anything from a week of groceries to a month of groceries. So thank you. Secondly, Mrs. Dickinson, after the results of the primary, do want to say thank you for everything you've done for the county over these last years, everything you'll continue to do in your position and outside your position, but thank you. But, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for a kind word.
Yes. It usually happens with taxes.
Larry Barber.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Larry Barber. I'm the president of the Over the Road Gang Car Club in Ottawa. I'm joined with our event coordinator, Allie Barber. We're here today to see if the county would waive the trash dumping fees for us this year. Would also like to ask to use the visitor center for our registration on that Saturday. And we'd like to use the courthouse lawn for our food vendors for Saturday night cruise.
Anybody have any objection? I mean, normally, do we do that now or wait?
You absolutely can, yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Does everybody seem okay with
Oh, yeah.
that? We need a motion
I
to
would.
make
Make a
that.
motion to approve forgiving the tipping fees for the use of the car show, the use of the courthouse lawn and the visitor center.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded.
Commissioner Stottlemyre. Commissioner Raymeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson.
I'll vote yes.
Chair Metter.
Yes. All right.
All right,
Well,
thank you guys very much. We greatly appreciate your
Yes.
guys' support.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes,
Thank you.
sure. Thank you. All right. Any other public comment?
You didn't want to speak separately, did you, Ally? Okay, perfect. That's it.
All right, that's it. All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. We need to consider and approve the Franklin County Commission meeting minutes for August 19th, 2026, and consider and approve payroll for the period of July 1st, 2026 to August 20th, 2026 in the amount of $1,644,539.40.
A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Raymeyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson.
Yes?
Commissioner Stottlemyre. Yes. Chair Metter.
Yes. All right, moving on to items of business. We were going to consider approval of a law enforcement contract with the city of Richmond for 10 hours per week. Jeff Richards.
Morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
I have before you a proposed contract with the city of Richmond. They had reached out, and they would like to contract with the county through the sheriff's office for law enforcement services. They want 10 hours per week that would be dedicated there. The main thing that does for us as a reminder is that allows us to enforce their city ordinances. They're they're getting a court set up and getting all those things done. So we're in a transition time right now when that'll be happening, but they're working on all of those things. And then we would, so they would like to get that, to get a contract approved. This was already approved by the city of Richmond. They've already approved it. The amount for this contract for the 10 hours is $13,000 per year. The way that we came up with that amount was working with HR. We had a median salary, hourly amount for deputies, and we just multiplied that out, and that's where we came up with that amount. So be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Just so you know, this contract reads very, very similar to the Pomona one. We just pretty much just changed the names and amounts in it, so.
Does anybody have any questions?
What do you do in Pomona? How many hours?
40.
It has full-time on that
And
one.
since theirs is 40 hours, we have to add staff.
Yeah.
So theirs includes salary and benefits. Since this does not include needing to add a position at all, the determination was made just to do the hourly rate.
Awesome. Thank you. Good enough.
Any more questions or making a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And moved and seconded.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes?
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yeah.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Chair Metter?
Yes. All right, moving on to the next one. Consider approval of the extension of the school resource officer contract with Central Heights USD 288 for the 2026-2027 school year.
Right, as you read there, this is just a contract extension. We're just entering another year with the school district. There's no changes to the contract other than the dollar amount. The proposed contract is for $90,724 per year. Again, this is a full-time position, so it does include salary and benefits. This was already approved by the school board on the 13th, and so they're just looking for county approval on this.
All right.
I move to approve the 2026-27 Central Heights SRO contract in the amount of $90,724.
Second.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Chair Metter?
Yes. All right, moving on to approval and extension of the school resource office contract with West Franklin USD 287 for 2026-2027 school year.
And this is the same thing that we just did with Central Heights, we will do for West Franklin. Again, full-time position, so that amount is $90,724 for the year. And the school board has already approved this on August 12th. And so we're just looking for county approval at this point.
Motion to approve. Second.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes.
Chair Metter?
Yes. All right, thank you very
Thank you.
much. All right, okay, I will get to it. We'll move on to the staff reports.
Yes, I am going to speak along with Jeff here. We, as the five of you know, we have had some level of discussions about ongoing road improvements within Franklin County. At the staff level, we've been working hard on that. Want to commend Jeff, Rusty, Justin McCurdy, Will Wallace. Will has prepared, and honestly, it's one of the coolest things I've seen in my time, and Jeff's going to pass them out to you guys at the end of the meeting. We've got maps that have, I believe, 4 different large projects. We've got Sand Creek Road, a potential asphalt work, Colorado Road, potential asphalt work, Rock Creek Road, potential asphalt work. We've got traffic counts for each of those roads embedded into the map. We've got actual quotes from Kilo on what it would cost to repair those roads embedded into that map. We've even got breakouts on a couple of those on what it would cost to do underlying work on the base of the road prior to any overlays, because there's thoughts amongst our staff that maybe we ought to take time, repair the base, see how that holds up over a year or so before we put some kind of overlay on it. But the reason that we wanted to get this prepared and given to you guys, just so in your own time you can digest it, we will continue to produce more information and hope to have a study session still yet this fall. In terms of actually moving forward, I mean, these projects are, I mean, I believe most of them are over $500,000.
Yes, that's correct.
I will maintain that I would like to have our audit back from our auditor. We've already spent considerable funding this year on projects. Have a list here if you would like to talk about what we have done. But wanted to bring that up because we're excited about what, we've done so much this year. I think we're gonna do so much next year and for years to come, all while we are, able to hold our mill levy at a pretty steady rate. So that's something that we're all excited about. But Jeff, I'll let you jump in and add any context that I left out.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit it all, Derek. This was an effort that we put together because we'd heard from several, again, Derek had brought up the opportunity to spend some more money this year. And I'd spoken to a few of you in references to things that you'd like to see done. So we reached out to Kilo and we had Jed write us up some contracts for this year. The oil prices right now are actually down considerably, so there are some savings if we decided to do something in the near future. But I also understand where Derek's coming from, that we want to make sure that we do this, responsibly and make sure that we have the money available before we do it. We tried to encapsulate most of the locations that I've spoken to you and with Derek about. I also sat down with my staff, and they're here today, and discuss some of the things that we would like to see, and I'd like to give those recommendations at the end as we kind of go over those individually. So I'll hand maps out at the end of the meeting today, and then we'll kind of go over, kind of give you an idea of what we are looking at dollars-wise, and then whenever we're told that we want to move forward, we will discuss it.
Is that kind of like what we did on the part of Old Highway 50 that we didn't redo, but we did the rest of it? And we
Some of-
kind of went in and,
Some of that work is identical to what we did on I-50. Some of it's nothing more than an inch and a half leveling on certain locations. But we've really looked at it at each mile and give it consideration on what each mile needs in order to get up to a standard. And we've got problem areas that we would really like to address, if possible, that have been problem areas in the past, that if we have those extra funds, we hope that we could eliminate some of that so we don't have to keep going back to those same locations. And a lot of it has to do with the heavy equipment and trucks and quarries and farmers.
And the projects on that map, it's not a question of if in my mind, it's just when. And part of the reason for the creation of that is so that all five of you can have the same information, because this needs to culminate in a discussion with the five of you where you tell us, this is what we agree we want to prioritize. But whether that is this fall, we're running out of time, but there are a couple of those things that I would love to see. I don't know. Like some of that base work that you guys will see in there, would love to get Kilo going on that, but we've got to, in my mind, have that audit to do that responsibly.
I agree with you, Derek. I think these are all opportunities that we hopefully will see in the near future, and if we can kind of just prioritize them, I think that's the real thing that we need to do.
But if you all look at this and it gives you more questions, that's great. Let us know so that we can continue to build this out. I mean, we're learning as much about what Will's capable of right now as our GIS guy, and I'm excited about some of the things that we're going to be able to do with him, because that's a fun document there. I'm excited to get your guys' feedback, and he tells me that's the tip of the iceberg. So
He is absolutely amazing on what he can do and he makes us all look very smart. So I want to thank him.
Good.
He's really good.
He's bringing us up, not bringing us down.
That's right, he is. So, yeah.
yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm excited to look at that. Paul, nothing, road guys out there. Anything?
I will.
Jeff, do you have anything else?
Well, I'm
You can go
sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, on our guys, I want to thank them for coming down today because they have put a lot of effort in this as well. And their input's going to be all over this as well. But we do have a couple things that are going on right now. The chip seal guys that are here from Vance Brothers, they indicated at one point they were going to go take care of a problem up at, I believe it was up north, maybe in St. Joe, and they had a lot more moisture than we did. So they've stuck with us. I think that everything to the north in the county that we had on the map has been completed. They are now, I believe, down in Richmond today. They've got just a few more subdivisions and minor things. I imagine by week's end they should be completed. And that's been a very good process this year. We've had material going down really, really good. We like what we're seeing, and it's worked out really, really well for everybody. The John Brown Bridge, I spoke yesterday with Chris, and I also spoke with their installer and contractor. His name is Ryan. They will be here within the next month with a crane to do the test pilings, and they are in Washington County at the moment, finishing up a bridge. As soon as they're done with that, we're next. So that should, when the crane shows up out there, we'll be getting extremely close.
Power lines get moved?
They are in the process.
All right.
So when we spoke yesterday, we've got 4 bridges or
Correct.
bridge structures, correct, that we have in the works right now
At the
to
moment.
knock off. We've got John Brown, we've got the approval for the Indiana Road replacement.
The letting of that is in 2027, but yes, I'm in the
Right, but it's
process of that.
cooking.
Yeah, I'm working on
And then we've got Thane working on
Maintenance.
low water crossing, and that will be,
the 2.
yeah, he will be down in September to help Justin and I get started and get that prepped. So we'll do the low water crossing first, and then once the crops are out north of Rantoul, we'll be doing the one on Kingman.
You've been here 3 decades roughly. Have we ever knocked 4 or been working on 4 bridges at?
I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think it's ever even come close to happening. Very seldom that we're working on 2 at this capacity for replacements. Now, we've been repairing more, but we've never had this many that we're actually
Yeah.
replacing.
Okay.
So, and that's all I have.
All right. Dustin, I skipped you. Do you have anything? All right. Janet.
If I could just say from a finance standpoint, you guys' effort over the last number of years to contribute to our reserve accounts have made all of these things possible. And that was done, an effort to make sure that we build up those reserves so we don't have to take out additional financing, spend interest money that we don't need to spend. So building up these reserves and being able to do these projects is really important, not just for now, but to continue into the future so that we can do projects when they present themselves. Of course, we do have to let the reserves build back up at times, but having the money available is really important. So on to something else, election. I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about when we're going to do the canvas for the general election. Normally, we do that at a week and a day after the election, which would be Wednesday, but that's the 11th, which is a holiday for county employees, Veterans Day. So I would like to propose that we do that on the 16th of November, which is a Monday. You don't have a study session scheduled for that day, so it would be an additional meeting. But that is the last day that we can do a canvas for this upcoming election. And just with all the moving parts and it being a big election, I think giving my team as much time to prepare for it.
8:30 or 9?
I'm comfortable with either. I mean, we usually do 9, but whatever you guys want to do.
9?
9? Okay.
Leave quite as early in the morning?
That's all.
Time to get donuts.
Oh, yeah. All right. Commissioners, do you have anything, Don?
Yeah, Rock Creek is done from Rantoul to Oregon, and I think it turned out pretty good. Guys had a little rain on them and kind of disrupted a little part of it, but it may have worked out in the long run because they did one side, then they set a day, and then they did the other side. So it kind of actually helped a little bit when you went that way. And I go to Wellsville meeting tonight. Larry was up here with the car club, and they don't give a report every year. But I just kind of penciled down here. I know this year alone, they distributed right at $30,000 to different projects and programs and stuff throughout the county. Like about 8 or 9,000 just in park improvements. Every year they do that much to keep the park going. And I know the city got a grant to put a bunch of ADA approved concrete walkways to shelter houses. And they come up $6,000 short. Time they bid the deal 2 years ago and it got here now. So the car club did donate $6,000. And actually the club give $3,000 and one of our members give the other $3,000. And her mother had passed away, and in her estate, she wanted her daughter to give away stuff to different projects like that throughout the county. So I thought that was a pretty neat deal. They stand about 800 pre-registered cars right now, which is ahead of normal. But we talked a lot of times, it's not the number. Yeah, you want a good number of amount of cars come, but it gets to the point that you got to handle it. And that gets into, as long as we still bring in the same big crowds or even bigger crowds to go to the park and go downtown on Saturday night, shop all the vendors and experience our motels. I hope we don't lose any more. I mean, it's kind of disastrous for motels around here the last few years. So it'd be nice if we see another come on. So that's all I got.
All right, anything with you, Colt? I got a couple of things. I went to the Chamber Coffee last Friday and they introduced the new, I always get it mixed up, Leadership Franklin County group. And it was good to see that most of them are around my age. And so it kind of gives you inspiration that you're never too old to learn something or to improve yourself. The other thing on a completely different subject is data centers. I didn't know, I get contacted probably the last month or so about weekly and didn't know what you guys felt about, adding, a moratorium to data centers until we're done with this comprehensive plan update. That way we can, have a broad, candid discussion on how we want that to look in our county. But I don't know what you guys think and if that's on the table.
I would say if that's something that a majority of you are interested in, we need to notice it up. And I wouldn't encourage you to vote on that today, but if you direct staff, we can put something in front of you next week if you wanted to do a moratorium.
Thing is my understanding that these take a lot of utilities, and in the county, we're controlled basically because we don't have the utilities to support this type of deal, so I don't know if we need a moratorium.
Oh, like it wouldn't even be feasible because we don't have the energy to do it. I see.
Like housing in certain areas of the county is basically controlled by the access to water. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like, I mean, we have parts of the county that aren't served by rural water
And we don't have excessive amount of anywhere close to enough water to support something like this. So
it shows itself to the city.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then I don't know if these people are thinking that if we put a moratorium in the county, the city can't do it, or what they're pressing for.
Oh, yeah,
But
that,
the
I don't know
people-
on that aspect. The city is the city, and the city will do what the city wants to do.
Right.
And we are the
I
county as
think
well.
Leavenworth County just did one, so it's not impossible for counties to do it. I always kind of felt that it was not necessary for us because I didn't think that they would really come to us. But it would also maybe express maybe where the direction that we're going to lean when we do the comprehensive plan. I don't know.
Mine's just, I like
think
to
I
have a
would go either
broad
way.
discussion on things and see how it is. So that's why I thought a moratorium, because I'm thinking pretty soon we'll be doing the comprehensive plan and just having that discussion then. So I don't know.
Like,
See where-
what people that's called me on it, that's what I've explained to them is totally controlling the item of that. It's already taken care of.
I guess the thought with that is if they build their own utilities and what goes on into that. But that's a discussion. I don't want to make this last forever, so. Your thoughts are on it?
Oh, I agree, but, it's kind of like, we're talking about some things the last few years that just came up in the last few years. I mean, how do we put our finger on, we can't put our finger on everything that's gonna happen in the next 5 years. Because there's 3 or 4 things that come up in the last 3 years, I never even, it's going in a direction none of us ever seen coming or happening. So hopefully, we can get some heads up from our department and other people, and maybe their research of what's happening, what's gonna be happening. I mean, what do we need to change? Or is there anything we even need to change? Maybe we just need to reword and revise what we already have.
Well, I would take guidance from 5 of you, but as I sit here today, when we start talking about the comp plan, the first thing that I would want to take care of is renewable energy and data centers. Just right off the top, start the process with those, because I believe that is what the general public is generally most interested in. I don't think it's setback requirements. I don't think it's some of the day-to-day mundane stuff. So yes, we will have the opportunity to have those discussions. And with regard to a moratorium, you guys, we can bring you any info you want in terms of having discussions prior to doing that. We just need to know what you'd like from us.
I would rather not do it after somebody ends up coming in front of us and saying, and then going, yeah, let's do a moratorium. But maybe just be proactive and just get it done. And then
There are a
We
lot of
discussed.
applications for data centers going on everywhere. We don't have one. We don't even know of anybody who's expressed any interest. We do, part of our system, part of democracy, anybody can file anything they want. You can file an application tomorrow, even if it's a plan no more than a piece of paper. You can file a lawsuit, even how frivolous it may be. So, wise or not, it's there as a vague possibility. We're very aware we probably don't have the resources to support it, and that there's ambiguity in our overall comp plan. So instead of going into a situation we don't necessarily feel prepared for, should it happen, spending a lot of our staff's time, and something not productive as far as a community conversation and another negative thing to take up bandwidth. I think from that perspective, it may be wise to go ahead and put a pause on it until we can address it and get the goalposts firmly set. Just avoid a unfortunate situation.
you got some nods up here, so. okay.
Yeah, I believe that there are at least 3 of you, and to be clear, you guys will vote on it. I mean, we can have it in front of you next week, and you'll have the opportunity to provide additional feedback. But I think at least 3 of you are interested in it, or at least having that discussion, so that'll be.
I don't like going around banning a lot of things because it may
Yeah.
be sensational or positive at the time. So I don't want to feel like that's what this is. But also, we're a small county with limited resources, right? We don't have what a lot of our big neighbors have. So if we are not spending our time talking about something like this that probably can't fix anyways, we can't be doing the things, these infrastructure projects, we've got some good opportunities in this next year to make this a better county, better place to live. I would hate for something to be dropped on our feet like an application that really will suck up a lot of this organization's time, so.
Well, and I know you know this, Colt. I just want to clarify, though, to be clear, Frank, we have not banned anything. I mean, we haven't banned wind energy. We haven't banned solar energy, haven't banned, we won't ban data centers. It's more, we're just pressing pause so that when we do our comp plan, we can have fleshed out discussions about what the 5 of you would like to see with ample feedback from the community and try to make it the most democratic process that we can. So, and Colt, I know you know that. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that.
People want to know they're being heard, and so that we give that opportunity in order to do that.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
So, Rod, do you have anything as commissioner? Anything to add? Diane?
I was in Topeka yesterday for the Kansas Association of Counties Board. They have hired a new legislative policy and government relations director, Shelby Ostrom. She has experience in Topeka. I think she will be good, a good fit for our organization. So a lot of talk about next year and when the legislature gets together and what could or could not be happening, depending on who is governor or all the elections that are still going to be held. So excited to see her getting her feet wet and getting going.
All right.
So moved.
Hold on. We're going to pass out maps and potentially ask questions and discuss them as a group, being county business. Do we want to stay in a meeting?
Well,
I don't think they were going to pass out maps and say, take them with you.
What we anticipated was letting you guys digest them for a week or so.
And then come back.
Coming back.
Okay,
But
all
if you want to discuss them today, we can pass them out now and do that today. My thought was just let you guys.
Take a look at it and
Maybe good, take a
I'd
look.
like to be able to travel with what we're talking about.
Yeah, go drive the
I
road.
mean,
So,
I'd like
yeah,
to
we
be
can
able
wait.
to drive what we're talking about,
Sure.
or we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm for all of them. I didn't want to.
No, not make any decisions, just I
Yeah.
don't know what's on that map, and I may want to ask
Right.
questions and
Yeah.
clarify.
I know.
So, yeah, we can come back with
I
questions.
know none of them are in my district, so I'd want to visit these other roads. It's
Well,
a road I don't travel.
I'd like to put some input in as we go over them, as we discuss,
So do you want to, we can do one of two things. Pass them out, let them take them home, come back in a week, and plan on you providing context, answering questions a week from today, or we can hand them, stay in an open session right now.
It's really however you want to do it. I just would like to give some explanation on some things before.
And just,
Yeah, that might be good if he can then explain, so when we're looking at something,
Okay, yeah, that's great.
the
take your
explanation.
motion back, Rod?
Yeah, I'll take it back.
I don't, well, anyways, it was,
you hate that, don't you?
he just said
Yeah.
so moved, so there was no actual, we don't know what the motion was. Because I don't, yeah. I did, it was implied. But I'm trying to make it legal. All right.
Oh, wow.
Well, just know that new construction is usually $1 million a mile, so. back like 20 years ago.
2, 3.
Okay, if we could, I'd like to kind of go, take these in order. And there's no order of importance, just kind of a way that I want to start and end. Everything that's on this map is contracted work that would be done outside our department. So this would be work that would actually be done by probably Kilo in reference to what we would like to do. I also didn't give shade, and I think you left already, but a lot of these bridge projects were, I want to thank Paul Bean, because he has been involved in a lot of these as well. Not just road projects, but some of the work that we've been doing on these bridges, and he'll be actively involved in helping us try to do some of this other stuff, especially come onto this bridge work. But the first place I'd like to start is that stretch of Sand Creek and that 1 mile that goes north on Montana. When we spoke with them, that quarry on, right there, that's right off 59 Highway, we wanted to actually put a little more base material on that stretch. Now, there is that Midland Railroad track that goes through. We have reached out several times in an attempt to try to fix that and improve it. We don't own it. So that mile itself, even if we do that 3-inch overlay improvement on it, we'll still have that set of railroad tracks that we'll have to address at some point or get a hold of somebody. I believe that person, the contact is in California that we call, and I really think it's tied up in lawsuits, but I don't know specifically anything about it. But that will still be an issue on that stretch. There are 73 linear cracks that go completely across the road on that stretch of Montana. In that bid that you see, we have 12 inches of Petromat over each one of those cracks with that overlay. Now, that road itself has shoulders on it, so it's nearly 40 feet wide. We would just be doing the lane, the driving lanes, and not the shoulders. We would just put enough material on it to cover the cracking of the Petromat on the shoulder work.
Any milling there?
I don't recall that we had any milling. We would try to take the humps and the bumps out of it. It's been crack sealed, but we've had several cracks show up since last year when we did that. So, but we would attempt to put a 3-inch overlay on it as well, because that's, a lot of those trucks go to Douglas County, to Palmyra in that direction. So that would be, and so when you break it down, each one of, that's the total amount on it. But some of this that's actually headed to the west that would go out to Idaho is only 1.25 inch overlay like what we had done previously on Old 50. It'd be more of a leveling course and just an overlay on that stretch. But if you have any questions, go ahead.
The rock quarries ever, like, I know of specific rock quarries have a budget line that is for county roads. That's not in this county, but I just didn't know if
Yeah.
these rock quarries, usually there's a line item in their
Well,
budget that's,
we have made attempts in the past. In fact, I believe you were in one of them where we had tried to get some money out of the federal government on some,
yes.
on a rock quarry and been unsuccessful. It's an open roadway. We don't really limit who drives our roads. I mean, that's something we could pursue. I've just never been successful in obtaining funds from those type of places. And I would
Okay.
continue.
I mean, I know our next door neighbor to the north, I mean, they require it, like it's the line item, and they pave the roads and gravel the roads that are right outside their quarry. So anyways, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, that's something.
And I
we could-
might ask about those line items too and see
It's
if
something
they
we
have
could.
one.
It's definitely something we could pursue, because a lot of the stuff that we're talking about that needs the majority of the work is around a business or a farm or an agriculture facility or locations that carry a lot of truck traffic. So I think it's kind of a slippery slope, because I don't,
Yeah, and
so,
I
but,
think it's fair to the average taxpayer that would happen, but we have no ability after the fact to require an impact fee from a business.
and
And if
those
you-
were probably implemented
Yeah. as
when
part of
they
the
came
permitting
in,
process.
because I
Yeah.
know the one I'm specifically thinking of, they do a lot. in that community just to appease the people, so.
It would be great if,
And to speak to both of your comments, if a new quarry was going in today,
Yeah.
whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And you would be looking at some of that, but it's hard to retroactively go back.
Yeah. But anyways,
Okay. The first miles, the miles that are actually west, the mile that goes on Sand Creek west of Old 59, and then the north mile, again, that would be a thicker asphalt amount that we would have. Now, if we went the 3-inch on that stretch of Sand Creek going west for 1 mile, it would probably require shoulder work off the edges, which that does not, it's not inclusive. That would be something that we don't have the time to do it right now, but it's something that we could have the capability of doing ourselves. And some of that material could actually be reclaimed if they're actually milling off of it. We could use that for shoulder work, but I can't have a 3-inch drop off to the edge of a new roadway. So that's one issue that you want to consider. So that would be the 2 miles on this. The remainder of that going to the west would just primarily be an overlay. So if you don't have any questions regarding that,
with milling to the west on Sand Creek?
we would not need to, because it would only be 1.25 inches.
Oh, okay, for the regular.
It would not be, the mile that we would have to put shoulder work on would be east of
Okay,
59,
okay.
not west. That would just be so then if we would go south of Pomona on Colorado, Jackson, and California, that stretch is a little bit longer, hence the cost. The majority of that is all just 1.25 to 1.5 inch overlay. There would be a few spots in there that we would like to rework that Kilo is already aware of, and that would take care of it. The issue that we have south of Pomona is Derek let me last year or two, Paul Bean and I were allowed to have that engineered for an overflow north of the railroad tracks. So I'm hesitant on actually putting something there until we know what that looks like as far as engineers and drainage. So you could almost remove that 1.5 miles from that estimate.
And on your maps, that is the lighter shaded color there. Like you'll
Correct.
see, there's a darker, and that portion is that we may, if that was what you wanted to do, we may forego that lighter shade.
Right.
Just because if we're gonna do work on it.
Right, yeah, Derek's right. It'd eventually have to be done, but it wouldn't necessarily be a wise way to spend your money at this point if we haven't done the actual overflow. And we're basically just waiting for funds. That is out there. If we can find something, Paul and I will definitely get on it and try to get that taken care of. So you could actually reduce that cost by approximately 20% if you took that total cost for that stretch. I think that's the only thing. Do you have any questions about that? Okay, the next one would be actually on the blue, which is Rock Creek. The first 2 mile, or at least the first mile, if you notice, it's a little lighter shade of blue, and that would be a lesser amount of asphalt that we would need to use. It just doesn't have as many issues, and it's been a better road over the years than as you proceed towards Rantoul to the east. As you get closer to the hills, you see that we have more problems in that area and more patches that need to be taken care of. That would be, they request a thicker amount of asphalt there. If we also have a Plan B, and I'd like to discuss that just a little bit, that would actually be if we didn't do asphalt, but rather we would go into these locations where we have issues and springs. I would say that we have probably close to 15 French drains in that stretch already. Every time we attempt to fix it, it tends to move on us just a little bit. But this would be an opportunity for us to actually go in, have Kilo dig those spots out. The material that would go back in it is not inclusive in this price because it's a difference between flowable fill and AB3. That would still be inclusive for us to pick up. But all of those spots, there'd be probably 10 to 15 locations where they would come in, and that would be your Plan B. They would also patch over it with asphalt. It would just be patches, but we'd have an opportunity to watch that and see how it would adjust to what we actually did in that work.
That would be best done in the spring and not,
They would do that this fall or next year
Could do it in the fall.
regardless. Yeah, they have time to do it whenever we have the agreement to go forward.
And to be clear, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in talking with you, if staff had a preference, it would be to do these Plan Bs on both Rock Creek and Tennessee.
Absolutely.
To take care of the base work that needs done, then we can observe over time, make sure it's holding up. And then if we do that, these Plan As that you see would probably be less expensive because we've knocked out some of the underlying.
You've taken out some of the expense that you would have had previously. There is an overlap from Plan A to Plan B, absolutely. And yes, it would be my recommendation that we would look at those fixing things rather than just asphalting over them and seeing how well that actually holds. I think that's my recommendation, that's everybody in my department's recommendation. If we could do it that way, again, there's no magic pill that says this is going to work, this is going to fix it, but I do think it's the best bang for your buck long-term, instead of just going back like we've had to do several times on Rock Creek and just keep try to fix it. So that would be one of our recommendations, would be to choose that. And it is a lesser expense, but again, it does not include, the only thing that it would not include would be the material cost that's going back into that. That stretch that we have in the darker blue, that could be up to 3 inches as well, so you're looking at shoulder work on it. It's also not inclusive.
Well, I know the other day I happened to be on Tennessee, and I saw that little section from like Sand Creek to the I-35, and I was like, oh, this is really bad. And I thought, we might need to take care of this and
Okay.
really get to the problem, so.
Exactly, yeah. Does anybody have any, Dawn, or questions or concerns about that stretch that we're talking about? Okay, the next one we added, and that's what was staff that added it, is that stretch on Tennessee that goes out there by Penny's Quarry. We did some patch work up there. It looked really well for a while till it got hot. We've had some base failure issues there. There's some things we can actually do to improve it, but it's very similar. What we would like to do from basically 68 Highway to I-35 overpass is something very similar we just talked about on Rock Creek, where we would get the worst locations. If you look at numbers, not quite as excessive because they don't quite have as many issues. The miles is also shorter. We'd like to take that all the way to the overlay. We would like to take that all the way to Lay Loop eventually if we do it. But those are numbers that we actually got the bid, and Kilo gave us the same quote. So if you wanted to follow our recommendation, we would be recommending that we try to do the Plan Bs on both Tennessee and on Rock Creek, with the possibility of putting the Petromat down as well and attempting to fix those cracks on that stretch of Montana on the very first one that we had, and seeing how we do it before we actually jump off and start doing overlays.
this doesn't include the Petromat?
That pricing includes the Petromat.
It does.
Well, he's jumping back over to this stretch of Montana.
Yeah, I concluded the three together. Our recommendation would be to fix the base failures and the issues, have Kilo fix the base failures and issues on Tennessee, have them fix the base failures and issues on Rock Creek, and do the Petromat on
Montana.
1 mile of, right. That would be our recommendation at this point.
But that Petromat wouldn't be till you were ready to overlay it. You wouldn't leave that there all winter.
Right. Well, they would do that initially over those seams and actually put the asphalt over the top of it. So it would actually it would actually to just have enough layer to secure it. Wouldn't necessarily have the 3 inches. It would have that material to fill all those cracks. And that could be done as well. And that would be Kilo doing it, not Vance Brothers.
Gotcha.
All right. We can go look at our pretty maps. Thank you for making wonderful maps.
I want to thank Will and all my staff for the time and all the work that they put into this, and we can talk about it again.
Well, if we're done, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.